Dear Diary, some places feel like they've stepped right out of a fairy tale, and Lake Como is one of them. Today, I'm in a cafe in Varenna, and I want to tell you all about how Lake Como has left us feeling enchanted on our long overdue honeymoon. I married Faisal 2 years ago, and let's just say he's my whole world. We've always wanted to do something like this, but life got busy. We traveled to meet friends, we celebrated with family, but we never carved out time for a proper honeymoon, for just the two of us. Some people might say, a honeymoon? 2 years later? What's the point? But I've come to believe that it's never too late. Whether it's 2 years, 5 years, or even 25, it doesn't really matter as long as it feels right. So we threw out the rule book, booked 2 flights to Italy, and said, if we're gonna do this honeymoon 2 years later, we're gonna do it right. And Italy is new territory for both of us. I've never even been to Europe, so I was nervous before our flight. I had all these questions swirling in my head, like, what would the people be like? Are they friendly? Is Italy actually what it looks like in photos? And most importantly, what is our honeymoon actually going to be like? All future questions, no present answers. But I was excited about getting all my answers with time. And just like that, we made it. We were finally there at Lake Como. We stepped off the train at Varenna Asino, a little sleepy, but wide-eyed. And my first thought was, oh my god, I'm actually here, in Italy, this is real. And then I thought that this lake is massive. It's so much bigger than what it was in my head. Everyone is dressed so nicely. It's so sunny and the views look so nice. And the air feels so fresh. It's so green and it's just magical. And then we reached Hotel Royal Victoria, the kind of place that feels like it's lived through 100 love stories. Our room had a balcony that opened right onto the lake. For a minute, we both just stood there, in silence, watching the water move gently. But we couldn't sit still for too long. We had a town to explore. Our first stop was Villa Cipressi, a peaceful, lush villa lined with ancient cypress trees, terraced gardens, and winding stone pathways that led down to the lake. I wish we had more time here, because we only had 30 minutes to explore before we had to get to Villa Monastero before it closed. We made the most out of it, but it would have been lovely to wander without feeling rushed. I hadn't even seen the other villas yet, and already this felt like something out of a movie. It was a bit crowded at this time of day, but it still felt surreal to stroll through the gardens. It wasn't sunset yet, but the soft evening light casted a warm, golden hue across the villa, making the lake shimmer in the distance. The lookout point from Villa Cipressi was mesmerizing. You could see Villa Monastero from afar, its pop of red contrasting beautifully against the lush greenery. The lake mirrored the surrounding evergreen trees, blending seamlessly with the natural landscape. It looked like a living painting, and I paused for a moment, genuinely wondering, who even comes up with things like this? How did someone know that building Villa Monastero in that exact spot would feel so harmonious and unobstructed? That from this vantage point at Villa Cipressi, it would look like a scene painted by nature itself? It was pure genius. I made my way down the villa's perfectly symmetrical zigzag stone pathways, all leading down to an elegant iron gate that opened directly onto the lake. It almost felt like the gates of heaven. And I would have loved to get a photo here, but the line was quite long. So instead, I just stood there, took it in, and savored the moment from a distance. Then we visited Villa Monastero, a former monastery turned into a villa, complete with lemon trees, ivy-covered walls, and statues tucked into pockets of greenery. It was noticeably more spacious than Villa Cipressi, with wide walkways and more ground to cover. I'm glad that we saved Villa Monastero for a second. It definitely requires more time to explore. The sun was really hitting at this point. As it descended, the villa turned golden. The stone arches, statues, caught the light in a way that made everything glow like the entire garden had been lightly dusted in gold. I don't know if it was marble or just the way the sun played with the stone, but it was beautiful. Even the shadows looked soft and intentional. As we walked through the gardens, I couldn't help but think about the intention behind it all. How someone centuries ago imagined this place, chose this view, and framed these pathways. It reminded me of how deeply rooted our human desire is, not only to create beauty, but to create art that inspires and makes life feel worth living. I felt really speechless in that moment. So we took a breather and sat on a bench. We watched the boats drift by, and every now and then the breeze would gently pick up. There was such a softness to this day, and that's what I loved the most, despite feeling tired from our journey, this day felt like the perfect beginning. A quiet and warm welcome from Italy. A few months ago, Faisal came up with the idea of doing a photo shoot while we were in Lake Como. He said that it would be a beautiful way to celebrate our honeymoon, and I loved the idea. We decided to choose the lake itself, aboard one of Lake Como's iconic wooden boats. I had been dreaming about this moment ever since I saw it on Pinterest, and now it was finally happening. We got at the docks of Varenna and met our talented photographer, Anne. And from there, we boarded our boat and set off across the lake, stopping at a few of Lake Como's most iconic photo spots.
Suppose the world was not informed by real estate or power lines, the hidden river of my life, pursued by love. The whispering stone, the valley ford, the candy corn, the spirit vines. Abuse has left me on my side, a single stone. I'm a walker, I'm a dreamer, treehouse greeter, Pentecostal preacher. I'm a rocker, yeah, I'm a schemer, compost preacher, pioneer believer. A small betrayal, a simple thought, to shrug it off, unoccupied. The
feeling of being on the lake in a beautiful boat with classic Italian music playing in the background was a feeling I'm not quite sure how to describe. Watching Faisal in his suit, feeling the wind on my face as we drifted across the water, and seeing the boat leave soft trails of water behind us, it all felt surreal. This moment had been a dream of ours for a long time. We'd always hoped that one day we'd see the world together. And for a while, for a few reasons, to me it felt like Italy was never gonna happen. I almost had to let go of that dream, but Faisal held my hand and told me not to give up on it. So, being on that boat next to the love of my life, watching him fit so perfectly into the beauty around us, that was a very special moment for me. It made me tear up, and it's a core memory that I want to hold on to forever. Lake Como was magical and a wonderful start to our honeymoon. All around us, people were in love. You could really see it in the couples taking engagement photos, the white gowns and black tuxes floating on boats. It felt like love was everywhere, shape-shifting into different forms, and somehow it felt like love had a life force and energy of its own. Love doesn't just exist in Lake Como. It thrives, it endures, and above all, it feels immortal. I'm going your way. I used to think that love had to be dramatic, like in the movies, running through airports, tearful confessions in the rain, and as a result, I think a lot of people believe that love is overhyped. And perhaps there's truth to both those statements. But if you ask me for my opinion, I would say that if you're with the right person, then love can be grounding. And I would describe love as wholesome and innocent. And for that reason alone, Lake Como reminded me that love deserves to be celebrated. When you're back in the ordinary, the magic, it still lingers. Because love, in its truest form, will always leave traces of beauty. If only you know where to look.